Darkness hides more than shadows. Secrets that were buried in the past are waking up. Every choice has a consequence, and in the heart of the city, no one is safe. This is a world where power and betrayal dance in silence. And every whispered word can change everything. As the rain falls, mysteries unfold, and the line between friend and enemy disappears. Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black is back, and this time, the stakes are higher, the danger closer, and the truth's harder to face than ever before. The city sleeps under a blanket of rain, but its streets are alive with tension. Neon signs flicker through puddles, painting the wet pavement in fleeting colors, like a heartbeat you can't quite follow. Shadows stretch along alleyways, moving with an almost deliberate intent, hinting at stories that are waiting to surface. The air smells of wet asphalt and distant smoke, carrying whispers of secrets long hidden. Somewhere, a door creaks open in a silent building, and the faintest click of a lock echoes in the emptiness, signaling that nothing stays hidden forever. Hands, trembling just slightly, reach out to touch a cold, metallic object, leaving fingerprints that will tell a story before words ever form. A lone streetlight buzzes overhead, flickering as if it too senses the tension growing in the night. Rainwater runs in slow streams down the sides of buildings, carving patterns that seem to trace the paths of unseen lives bound by invisible threads of loyalty, revenge, and betrayal. A package sits in the shadows, corners wet and corners torn, a small symbol of secrets about to be unveiled. Nearby, a phone vibrates quietly on a table, a message blinking once, twice, and then gone, leaving only the haunting glow behind. Every sound in the city seems amplified, the rustle of paper caught in a breeze, the distant honk of a car, footsteps that may or may not be following. The walls themselves seem to hold their breath, as if they know a storm is coming that will shake the very foundations of this quiet night. Rain drips from a rooftop onto a parked car, sending ripples across puddles, each ripple carrying echoes of choices made and lies told. A shadow passes across a window, its motion brief but loaded with purpose, hinting that the night is watching. Back, lights in distant apartments turn on and off, brief flashes revealing glimpses of life that remain mostly hidden, moments that hint at love, loss, or betrayal without showing a face. The scene feels suspended in a fragile balance, a world where tension is woven into every detail, where every object, every movement, and every sound whispers a story of its own. Hands hold onto railings tightly as someone moves up a narrow staircase, steps slow and measured, as if every movement could awaken unseen eyes. A crumpled photograph flutters in the wind on a balcony, its edges curling and damp, a silent reminder of promises once made and broken. Inside an empty room, curtains sway, catching the occasional flicker of light from passing cars, creating patterns like ghostly figures dancing in silence. Somewhere, a single key drops onto a wooden floor, the sound echoing louder than expected, as if the room itself has heard and remembered. Raindrops slide down glass, blurring the view of a city that seems both alive and asleep, full of hidden stories and untold danger. Every corner holds potential, every shadow a secret, every small movement a clue to a larger truth waiting to emerge. The tension is palpable, a living presence in the air, pressing against the walls, pressing against the viewer, pulling them into a world where nothing is as it seems, and through it all, one question lingers: who will uncover the truth first? And at what cost? In this city, even silence speaks volumes, and every detail matters, from the smallest object left behind to the faintest sound in the night. The scene slowly fades, not into calm, but into anticipation, leaving the sense that the storm is just beginning, and the secrets it carries are far from over. The tension tightens as the night deepens, and the city no longer feels empty, it feels alive with unseen eyes. Every street corner seems to hide more than shadows, and every flickering light casts stories across walls that weren't there before. A hand reaches into a coat pocket and pulls out a folded letter. Edges worn and damp from the rain, the ink blurred but the weight of its words unmistakable. There is a pause, a moment where nothing moves except the faint trembling of fingers, as if even the air is waiting for what comes next. Across the street, a door swings open for a brief second, letting in a shaft of warm light into the cold night, revealing just enough to make the darkness behind it feel heavier. Objects on a desk shift slightly, as if moved by invisible hands, hinting at secrets being rearranged before anyone even notices. The rhythm of the city blends with the quiet pulse of fear. Distant sirens wail. A dog barks in the distance. And the soft tapping of raindrops on window panes forms a cadence that mirrors a heartbeat. Slow, tense, and uncertain. A set of keys clinks against a wooden table as they are picked up and set down again. The smallest sound carrying weight, suggesting decisions are being made that will ripple through more than one life. The camera, or rather the viewer's eye, follows a pair of shoes stepping carefully through puddles, each splash echoing like a signal to something lurking just beyond sight. Nearby, a shadow moves along a brick wall, stopping suddenly, waiting, watching. Aware of every sound that breaks the silence. A phone vibrates, screen lighting up with a message no one dares read aloud, the glow reflected in a pair of anxious eyes, the message itself carrying the gravity of consequences yet to come. In another room, a chair tips over, scraping across the floor, sending a jolt of tension through the scene, and then silence falls again, broken only by a distant clap of thunder. Papers scatter across the table, one sheet landing face up, hinting at a betrayal or revelation, the words partially legible but enough to pull the imagination toward danger and intrigue. A glass of water tilts slightly, reflecting a flicker of lightning from outside, the reflection creating shapes that suggest figures moving in secret. Outside, the rain intensifies, drumming on rooftops, filling alleys with flowing water, making every shadow deeper, every secret heavier. A jacket flutters across a balcony, lifted by the wind like a warning, while a locked briefcase sits untouched, its contents unknown but vital. A silent promise that something is about to change everything. The atmosphere grows thicker, more suffocating, with every sound magnified. The hum of a neon sign, the distant rumble of traffic, even the whisper of a curtain moving in a draft. A hand trembles over a set of stairs, fingers brushing the railing lightly, signaling hesitation, fear, and anticipation, as if each step could reveal something that has been long hidden. In a narrow corridor, a shadow falls across the floor, growing longer with the flicker of a failing light, suggesting someone or something is moving, unseen but present. Rainwater drips steadily from a gutter, landing on a rusty metal roof. A simple sound that feels weighted with meaning, like time itself is pressing down, warning of the coming storm. On a table, a single candle burns low, wax melting slowly, its light casting distorted shadows that twist across walls and floors, hinting at secrets that are not meant to be uncovered somewhere. A door clicks shut behind someone who doesn't exist on screen yet, leaving only the sound of the lock sliding home, the sound louder than it should be, as if announcing a choice that cannot be undone. The tension is relentless, a quiet pressure that sits on the chest and refuses to release, pulling the viewer into the lives of those unseen, their emotions, their fears, their unspoken desires. Every flicker, every sound, every shadow in this night has a story to tell. Betrayal, desire, revenge, hope, and all of it hangs in the balance, waiting to collide. As the rain falls harder, as shadows grow longer, and as the city breathes its secrets into the darkness, one thing becomes clear: nothing stays hidden for long. And the cost of discovery will touch everyone in ways no one can yet predict. The world of Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black is no longer quiet. It is alive, dangerous, and pulsing with stories that demand to be uncovered one shadow at a time. The night feels heavier now, as if the air itself is aware of the secrets beginning to unravel. Shadows stretch long across alleyways, twisting in shapes that seem almost alive, moving with purpose just out of sight. A faint light flickers from a half-open window, illuminating a desk scattered with papers, some stained, some torn, as if someone has been searching for answers in desperation. The sound of rain hitting rooftops mixes with the low hum of electricity, the occasional flicker of a faulty light casting the room in fleeting bursts of clarity and shadow. A hand reaches out, hesitating over a photograph lying face down, fingers trembling slightly, then flipping it slowly to reveal an image that carries weight, an unspoken story of loss, loyalty, or betrayal. Somewhere nearby, a chair tips over, scraping across a wooden floor, the sound sharp, breaking the fragile calm, signaling tension rising in a world that has already known too much silence. Outside, the rain intensifies, pouring down in sheets, flooding streets and reflecting the city's scattered neon signs, making puddles shimmer with colors that blur reality and reflection, hiding movements and secrets in their distorted surfaces. The camera's perspective, faceless and unseen, moves along with the shadows, catching glimpses of hands gripping railings, a jacket fluttering in the wind, a door slowly closing with a deliberate, almost menacing creak. A phone vibrates quietly on a table, screen glowing, displaying a message that is read only in part, hinting at danger, a betrayal, or an ultimatum that could change everything in an instant. In a narrow corridor, a single candle burns, smoke curling upward, casting shadows that stretch across the walls like fingers reaching for something unseen. Papers flutter as if caught by an invisible breeze, one landing just partial words that suggest a secret long kept is now ready to emerge. Outside, distant footsteps echo through empty streets, fading and returning, leaving the sense of being followed, watched, as though someone's presence is always just beyond perception. A glass of water trembles on a table, a light rain streak falling across the window behind it, creating patterns that resemble figures moving in silence, warning of the unseen hands pulling strings in this world. On a balcony, a crumpled note flutters in the wind, almost forgotten, yet heavy with meaning. A piece of the puzzle that could expose hidden truths, spark confrontation, or ignite a chain reaction of events no one can control. A shadow passes across a hallway, elongated and distorted by a flickering light, a figure moving silently with intent, hands adjusting objects, doors closing behind them, leaving signs that someone has been there, but without revealing who. Raindrops slide down glass panes, distorting the outside world, blurring reality, and reflecting the fragmented lives of those involved. Lives connected by unseen threads of loyalty, revenge, love, and fear. The city itself seems to breathe in anticipation, streets narrowing, alleyways twisting, buildings looming like silent witnesses to the unfolding drama. A hand reaches for a lockbox, fingers brushing its cold metal, hesitating before opening, the weight of choice pressing in, each movement deliberate, each second stretching longer than it should. Somewhere in the distance, a siren wails, cutting through the night, and the sound seems to resonate with the rhythm of hearts caught in anxiety, alert to danger, prepared for confrontation. A shadow moves along a staircase, slow and careful, each step echoing, sending shivers through the empty space. Objects shift as if nudged by unseen forces, papers falling, curtains swaying. A glass trembling silence signals that tension is growing and secrets are on the verge of breaking free. Rainwater drips into puddles, creating rings that ripple outward endlessly, a visual metaphor for the consequences of choices made in silence and secrecy. In the dim light of a lamp, a photograph stands on edge, half hidden, hinting at relationships strained, promises broken, and decisions that will haunt those who made them. The night holds its breath, suspended between revelation and concealment, each sound, shadow, and movement building a sense of urgency, pulling the viewer deeper into the web of intrigue. The city is alive with secrets, every corner hiding truths, and every shadow offering a glimpse of what's to come. No one is safe, and every action has a reaction. The storm outside mirrors the storm within, as tension reaches a breaking point, leaving the world poised on the edge of chaos, where only the unseen can control what unfolds next. Every object, every fleeting shadow, every sound carries a message, a clue, a warning. And the night continues to whisper, promise, and threaten in equal measure, setting the stage for the confrontation, the revelation, and the emotional unraveling that will define this season of Beauty and Black, Rain lashed harder against the city streets, turning puddles into shifting mirrors that reflect fleeting shadows and distorted lights. The world feels unstable, as if every surface could conceal something dangerous, and every movement carries a threat. A door slams in the distance, echoing through narrow alleyways, setting off a chain reaction of tension that seems to vibrate through the walls themselves. Hands grab at railings, trembling slightly, the knuckles white from grip, while feet step cautiously over wet concrete, puddles splashing with each careful movement. A brief flicker of lightning illuminates a figure in the distance, obscured by the rain, but the posture alone suggests purpose, urgency, and a silent promise that something is about to change everything. A key turns slowly in a lock, the metal scraping against the frame, sounding louder than it should, the echo reverberating like a warning. Inside, papers scatter as if caught by a sudden gust, some landing face down, others face up, revealing fragments of secrets that hint at betrayal, danger, or hidden agendas. A glass shatters on the floor, tiny pieces reflecting the dim light, each shard a metaphor for lives fractured, promises broken, and trust destroyed. The camera with a faceless perspective follows movement through dimly lit corridors, where shadows stretch unnaturally long and walls seem to lean in, pressing in on the scene with silent menace. A phone vibrates and falls onto a wet floor, screen glowing with a single cryptic message that hints at confrontation, revenge, or revelation, its light reflecting in eyes unseen, flickering like a pulse in the darkness. A staircase creaks under weight, slow and deliberate, every step echoing, suggesting that someone is following, waiting, or preparing for a pivotal moment. Outside, a car speeds down rain-slicked streets, tires hissing against the asphalt, headlights cutting through the mist, shadows racing along walls in tandem with the vehicle's momentum. A fire flares briefly in a distant window, illuminating a room in chaos, objects overturned, doors ajar, and the sense that the storm is no longer outside it has entered the very heart of the city. A hand clutches an object tightly, something small but significant, the tension in the grip telling a story of desperation, determination, and imminent danger. Thunder rolls overhead, low and ominous, vibrating through streets, walls, and bones, as if warning the world of what is about to unfold. Raindrops drip from rooftops, creating a constant, uneven rhythm that mirrors the nervous anticipation coursing through unseen characters. Curtains sway violently in open windows, shadows moving with them as if alive, hinting that nothing in this night is static, and nothing is safe from the unseen forces at play. A set of keys jangles, then falls from a pocket, clattering across concrete, the sound loud and urgent, a simple act that feels like a catalyst for events spiraling out of control. A locked briefcase sits alone on a table, rainwater streaking across its surface, untouched but heavy with significance, a symbol of the secrets, power, or danger that will drive the unfolding story. A shadow passes across a hallway, elongated and distorted by flickering light, hands brushing over surfaces, doors closing silently behind, leaving only traces of movement that hint at stealth, strategy, and hidden intent. The storm outside reflects the storm within the city itself, seems to shiver under the weight of secrets about to be exposed. Rainwater splashes against walls, dripping from fire escapes, forming rivulets that carry the sense of urgency and instability, suggesting that the ground beneath these events is as treacherous as the actions taking place above it. A candle flickers in a dimly lit room, wax melting in slow rivulets, casting long shadows that stretch across walls like silent observers of the tension and chaos. A crumpled note flutters from a balcony, caught in the wind landing near a puddle, soaking, yet still readable, its message urgent and full of implication. A figure moves along a narrow staircase, hands steady despite the storm, every step calculated, as if each movement carries consequences that could ripple through the lives of everyone connected. The sound of dripping water, falling glass, and distant sirens combine into a symphony of suspense, each note layered with tension, urgency, and the sense that something irreversible is about to happen. Every object touched, every shadow glimpsed, every sound heard is charged with meaning, messages waiting to be decoded, decisions waiting to be made, danger lurking just beyond sight. Rain, darkness, and shadows work together to create a world where tension is palpable, secrets are heavy, and nothing remains hidden for long. The night has grown fully alive with motion, intent, and suspense, leaving no corner untouched, no object irrelevant, and no secret safe. Every beat, every drip, every fleeting movement feels like the prelude to confrontation. The calm before chaos erupts, and the storm inside the city mirrors the storm inside every unseen character, preparing them and the audience for the climax of danger, revelation, and emotional upheaval that is about to hit with full force. The storm reaches its peak, pounding the city with relentless rain, turning streets into rivers of reflections and shadows. Every puddle becomes a mirror of secrets, every ripple hinting at unseen movements, unseen eyes, unseen intentions. A hand trembles over a letter, crumpled and wet, edges torn, the words almost illegible, but the weight of their meaning undeniable. Fingers clutch at objects, rings, keys, photos, fragments of a life tangled in lies, love, and betrayal, and each grip tightens as if holding back the chaos just beyond reach. Somewhere, a locked door shudders under pressure, the hinges groaning, threatening to give way, as if the past itself is demanding entry. A key slides into a lock, turns slowly, dragging anticipation with it, and for a moment, the world seems suspended, the rain pausing, the city holding its breath, waiting for what is hidden behind that door to be revealed. Shadows stretch and merge, crawling along walls, floors, and ceilings, twisting reality into something both beautiful and dangerous, suggesting movements and presences that are almost impossible to trace. Glass trembles on tables,